G'day guys, I'm Maynard here on the SC2HL, the SC2 Highlights channel again. After a long while, I've returned. And we're here for another replay cast. This one I hear is a little bit different, a little weird. Normally you will see pro player replays cast on this channel, highlights and casts and such, but this is between two diamond players on the ladder. But is still worth a look, I can assure you. Already seeing some weirdness. So I beat Alpha Star, or I beat Alpha Stir on the right side here, sitting out those first two SCVs. And Saber sitting out a very early SCV as well. In fact, this is Saber here at 12 o'clock. I beat Alpha Stir on a 3 o'clock location. And just goes straight past those two SCVs. Drops a proxy barracks. And we have a gas as well here from Saber. So looks like some kind of Reaper thing. As I beat Alpha Star comes across the map with these two SCVs. I mean, if Saber was looking at his SCV, he would have seen this. And also, full disclosure, I heard this replay is wild, but I don't know what happens. I've heard the replay is wild, but I don't know what happens. I will not watch replays before I cast them, just to make sure that I am, you know, the reactions are as genuine as possible, I guess, and that the cast is as pure as possible. Pure as the driven snow. Unlike these builds. 3 barracks is being made from I beat Alpha Stir, or the Red Terran. Might be easier to just call him that. Got 3 barracks is coming down. He says, I'm not cheesing. Well, that's a surefire sign that he actually is cheesing. Saber is proxying 1 barracks. Looks like a Marauder rush here from Saber. With the winky face. Okay, that's, I mean, if it was 90% before, it's 100% now. I beat Alpha Star is going for 2 barracks as proxy with the 3rd one at home, and is what looks to be just making as many Reapers as possible. The Marauder Rush is definitely something that's killed many Terrans before. Concussive Shell being researched here as well. Back at home, Saber is getting Reapers on that main base. No Orbital just yet either. It's been saving up his cash for a rainy day. I beat Alpha Star's got Orbital just about to finish up. SCV also coming forward to see what's happening in Sabertown, where everything is... I mean, it's still a little suspicious. The Reaper coming in from the main base barracks. No one is looking around their bases. Like, everyone has been very much sort of, I want to look all the way over here with my SCV Scout. I want to look all the way over here with my proxy and sending the Reaper across. So they are leaving themselves wide open back at home. Marauders being amassed here from Saber. He hasn't dropped the hammer just yet. Usually you will start rushing with those 2 Marauders. In they come. There they go. All right, it's time. Marauders are beginning their assault with the Reapers assisting as well. And this is going to cause I beat Alpha Star to do the same thing to Saber on this side of the map. And there is just no defense for either player here. I mean, at least I beat Alpha Star's got his wall up, so it's going to take a little bit longer for Saber to get through. But these Reapers are just in. They're right here. No micro on the Reapers, though. They're getting surrounded. That's not good here for I beat Alpha Star. That's very not good. In fact, is he going to get the other Reaper? He's target firing it. He doesn't get it. Oh, blunder there from I beat Alpha Star. That is definitely not... that's no bueno, as they say in Spain. All right, well, the depots are getting knocked down, and that is also going to supply block I beat Alpha Star by a fair margin. That's quite the block there. And, yeah, it's kind of hard to know which... I mean, the next 2 Reapers show up from I beat Alpha Star into the base of Saber, so both players are just taking insane economic damage here. The barracks never got lifted. It just sat there and died to Marauders. Terrans, just letting you know, as a PSA to all you Terran players out there, you can lift your structures. Sometimes it's important to do that for longevity. God, I hope the main doesn't go down to these Marauders. That would be... I mean, it'd be something. It's 5 Marauders now. Killing a lot of SCVs. Meanwhile, Saber, similar damage on this side of the map. We are seeing some severe losses here. 19 loss for I beat Alpha Star, 15 for Saber, and counting. You can see the losses are pretty heavily in Saber's favor, but it's just each person's main is forfeit. And Saber does have a little bit more cash to make another command center somewhere. He's actually got an SCV alive, 2 SCVs alive. I beat Alpha Star has 1. I'm guessing it's by the proxy. Yep, there it is, building a bunker because fuck yeah, better you know, defend this depot. Oh my god. They are both floating to the top right. No way. Okay, well, I've never seen command centers kiss before. Who gets the land first? Oh my god. Both of their mains are going to this top right island. Something you will only experience appear in the industry. Oh, I beat Alpha Star. Guess the land. Get out of here, nerd. Are both players just going to mine from each other's... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I like this move from Saber, though. Grabbing the barracks that survived to float over here and actually start to win this island back. It's important, rich terrain that he wants to win back from I Beat Alpha Star. Yes. I love it. That means all these mules will go down to the single marine that he makes out of this barracks, or the Reaper or whatever. I guess it has to be... I mean, it could be a Reaper. He's got enough minerals now to make it. I Beat Alpha Star building a command center on the top left of this map. And is about to lose his mining from this area. I mean, he's getting a little bit here from these mules, thankfully, and does have a base on a very fresh mineral line, fresh gas geysers. So this bunker actually is defending a little bit more than I thought. It's going to defend this command center, which definitely matters a little bit more than this one up to the top right. This command center up here is only going to last as long as Saber doesn't have any units to kill his mules. Mules do not fight back. SCVs do, but mules don't fight back, and he doesn't really have any more energy to mule up anyway. Now, I Beat Alpha Star. Do you leave the orbital here? No, you got to lift it up and get on out of there. And he's out. Is he going to retake the main base of his opponent? Hell yeah, he is. What else would you be doing? That'd be crazy if you said anything else. This barracks is actually blocking the command center from being in the right spot. So this is actually a weird situation. I mean, it's kind of redundant to say that this is a weird situation, but both players have got a similar lineup of stuff. So there's a little bit of a entrenched position up here in the top left for I Beat Alpha Star. So a handful of Marines and a handful of Reapers, and he's going for the, I guess, the cleanup of what remains in Saber's main, so he can make it all I Beat Alpha Star and get rid of the, you know, the unpleasant taint of Saber, the odor of that blue Terran's remains. The Marauders are still alive though, and they're coming over to assist. So, is this an engagement that I Beat Alpha Star can win? With high ground, I think maybe. Marauders actually really suck against Marines, but there are so many of them. It's kind of hard to say. So Saber managed to get 2 bases up. I Beat Alpha Star, same deal. It's got this base and also top left. And Saber has a little bit more longevity to the mining because this base is fresher than this one, but only ever so slightly. It is just the smallest difference. And also keep in mind that I Beat Alpha Star mined a little bit from that island before he was muscled out of there by the barracks production of Saber. Now, it looks like both players are going to just try and make a game out of this one. And keep in mind that I Beat Alpha Star was at 3 o'clock and is now at 12. And Saber was at 12 o'clock and is now at 3. So they've just swapped mains after having a brief hiatus. Sort of an island holiday in the top right of Purity in the Industry. Good stuff. This is a good play from I Beat Alpha Star, just to use the Reaper right now to see if his opponent's hiding anything on him. You can see that he doesn't have a ton of information right now because his opponent's not having anything revealed until they lose all their command centers, and everyone's kept all their command centers for the most part in this game. First factory of the game going to be made by I Beat Alpha Star in the new main base. And Saber has squeezed out a few Marines here along with the Marauders. Combat Shield on the way, because STEM is for pussies. Well, I mean, Concussive Shell to start things off with is great and all. Combat Shield gives all the Marines another 10 hit points. I guess it is, you know, it's useful. Not saying Combat Shield isn't useful. It's just that there's only 5 Marines, and I don't know, STEM seems like it'd be good for, like, every buy unit would benefit from STEM, you know what I mean? Know what I mean, Jellybean? Reaper gets gunned down by Saber, but gets a look at this base position and goes, okay, you're on 2 bases at least. Maybe more, but probably just 2, because he just did, if you look at the minimap, a big loop-de-loop with that Reaper to have a look at pretty much every base. I Beat Alpha Star moving out with the standard TVT army composition of, what's that, like 11 Marines, 3 Reapers. Up against the, I mean, this is quite meta, right? Just a lot of Marines here with a lot of Marauders and a couple Reapers. I mean, this army composition does it all. It shoots down and shoots up, has anti-armor. KD-8 grenades. This is sort of like the support unit here for the Terran. Can juggle things around with the grenades. Obviously, none of this game makes sense. There is a second factory on the way for Saber now, and STEM has begun. Did he... Okay, it's gone. Concussive Shell, Combat Shield, now STEM. All right. Bit of a supply block, unfortunately, on 54, but working on that with the depots on the way. IB Alpha Star actually hasn't been able to climb too high in the supply count just yet to be able to warrant another depot, but it is on the way. He's macroing a little bit better, having depots ahead of the curve instead of just as a reaction to a supply block, which is always better. Starport on the way as well, so getting up to that tech tree. It's cool to see the first starport in the game just after 10 minutes. Same deal for Saber back at home, who's rounding up his barracks production. Has a little bit less barracks production than IB Alpha Star until he gets that extra barracks done. But while there has been tiny little scuffles and tiny little skirmishes in this game, it is still continuing here with neither player really making any big bold moves. But I'd say at the moment, if we're just looking at the numbers, it looks good for Saber. The army is just bigger, and also keep in mind that he's got combat shield, stim, and concussive shell. Well, he doesn't have stim just yet; it's on the way. But the upgrades make his army a little bit more powerful. However, if he goes up into this bunker against the siege tank, he will definitely not trade well. He might break through this position just because of the sheer amount of units that he has, but it will not be a great trade. Banshee's on the way in the main with Cloak, and it looks like Saber went for the scan there. Oh, he might go for top left anyway. He's scanned and sees what he's up against. Now, this is an easy fight there for Saber if he wants to stim in and attack that one. Stim's done. Go, go, go. Hell yeah, Saber. Get it done. It's your birthday. Take him out. 4 Marines go down. The bunker goes down. The SCVs as well in the meat grinder. Damn. Goodbye SCVs. And I think that might be goodbye Orbital as well, as the Marines are standing right underneath it. Barracks is floating to the south of the map, but not a whole lot of map for them to escape to. The Marines are going to be faster. Hopefully it doesn't stim too hard. So the plan of IB Alpha Star is starting to round out here. He's going not only just for Banshee and Cloak, but for BCs later. And this command center is almost certainly going to burn down. There's nothing really to save it here. Yeah, that's an easy pick off there. Saber does get it. Nice move. And I've got to say, like, Saber was in a good spot before, and he's in an even better spot now. But you got to get a tiny bit worried for Saber. Not only is he losing a lot of SCVs up here on the island top right base, that Banshee really putting in work for IB Alpha Star is that there are going to be BCs on the way once he gets his depots up. Losing that command center has heavily supply blocked IB Alpha Star. Saber pulling those forces back, not looking to commit into the main base. Maybe he's pretty afraid of the siege tank, potentially. Had a medevac moving out to meet up with his army, I suppose, but it's decided to come on home. IB Alpha Star's got 3 Marines shift-clicked around to the south side of the map. Making maybe do some damage to a barracks or something, but doesn't look like it's going to achieve too much. Banshee's on the way. There is a Viking. There is also a scan available. There it is. And he gets it. Lovely pick off there for Saber. Another one, though, on the left side. Does he have another scan? Actually, he does. Yes, thanks to the top base there. Picks off the other Banshee. Both Banshees killed. Well played. Okay, great. Saber did lose a ton of workers during all of that, but has a much bigger army. So, you know, you give a little, get a little. Glass half full. And IB Alpha Star is starting to make battle cruisers. Doesn't really have the minerals, unfortunately, to make battle cruisers. You can see that there's plenty of gas in the tank at the moment for IB Alpha Star as far as resources go, but not a whole lot of minerals. Banshee is getting rid of that depot and now getting SCV. There we go. All right. Support force of Marine and Reaper. Also, how did they get up here? Oh, they were made from the barracks up here. I was like, how does a Marine and Reaper get up here? I'm pretty sure I've never seen a medevac from Saber until later when he first initially went for a push. These are the first 2 medevacs in the game, I believe. And there's the third one. Third Banshee goes down, picks off all the SCVs in the top right, and that is starting to burn down this depot over here. And yeah, I think we can justify a turret here for Saber. Those Banshees have been really ruining his day. All right, Saber's Bio Force moving through the middle of the map once again. It is a much bigger army for Saber. But battle cruisers do just slay people that aren't prepared. Battle cruiser tactical jumps in straight to the main base. There's a turret here. Doesn't have Yamato. Not yet, anyways. Researching it. And the mass repair on that turret will slow the BC down, but the BC will just go on top of the SCVs instead and start right-clicking them down. That's a lot of SCV damage. Saber knocked down to 5 workers now. I was going to say he should be feeling the pressure, but he's actually being a little indecisive with his army. He's bringing it back home, I think, to handle the BC, but he just seems to be a little bit too terrified of this entrenched position of IB Alpha Star with those high ground siege tanks in this bunker. There is a second BC about to pop out as well. Uh-oh. Careful of those turrets. Tactical jump has been used, so this Viking actually could probably win this fight against the BC, when normally it wouldn't. Well, that's unfortunate. BC is a 700 resource unit, and I beat Alpha Star is on 1 base. So continuing to make BCs is something that you can do for now, but this base needs to get on location and start mining if he wants to keep making BCs. Goes to the top right there with another tactical jump. Right on top of 2 turrets, though, so the BC gets very softened up. That Viking coming in with a friend as well. Gonna Yamato 1 Viking down, but that's another dead BC. Again, a massive throw of resources there from I Beat Alpha Star into the Saber machine. I mean, the thing that's making this so strange is that Saber has such a low worker count that it's kind of okay to be losing BCs on 1 base. Kind of. It's really hard to say that because of how incredibly expensive this unit is. It is the most expensive unit in StarCraft 2. It's 400, 300. It is the most expensive unit you can make in the game. And losing them to 2 turrets and a Viking never feels good. And the BC is flying up to the north side. Marines really do just tickle BCs. With the turret, the Vikings are going to assist a little bit more there and taking it down. BC is just running through, picking off whatever it can. It gets a few Marines. It might get a Viking there if it turns around. But it's going to go for the Yamato. And he does use the Yamato, but I mean, that BC, again, that's like a 3rd battlecruiser I've seen die for 1 Viking and a handful of Marines. It's just not good. The trades are just not good at all. And by not good, I really wish I could... I mean, not good is an absolute understatement. There is another battlecruiser here, number 4. Lucky number 4 for I Beat Alpha Star. Does he tactical jump it across the map? Or does he leave it in the main? I would think about, as I Beat Alpha Star, maybe just floating the BCs over and using them for harassment. And then tactical jumping back home. Like leaving tactical jump in the back pocket to save the BCs just because of how many he's been losing in this game. I'm going to check the trades right here, as it looks like we have a little bit of a lull in the action. Oh, God. You hate to see it. Huge resource loss advantage for Saber, but again, it's like I Beat Alpha Star has been mining a little bit more in the last few minutes. This I like a lot more. There we go. He's got Yamato. He's got tactical jump. I don't want him to fly over 3 turrets, though. You don't want to lose the BC, mate. God. Oh. Okay, that wasn't good for my blood pressure. The BC makes it back home, and it is still alive. He got 1 kill, and I think that might have been a turret. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was. Saber moving out with a bunch of bio units. What's amazing me about Saber's position is that he's not made like an anti-siege tank thing. Like whether it be a handful of Vikings with a Liberator behind it to try and push back those tanks and let the bio be a little bit safer, or maybe just using medevacs to drop into the main base and getting around the tanks, or you know, on top of the tanks even. Hyperflight Rotor is even on the way here for I Beat Alpha Star, so that's a pretty expensive upgrade for 0 Banshees. I believe he's got 0 Banshees, yep. Amazing. So now we're seeing more Vikings being reacted out, which I like. You know, getting a good number of Vikings does negate BCs quite a bit, takes a lot of the wind out of their sails, as it were. Big stim into the natural here. Saber going to go for a big committal. Only 1 tank on the low ground, so I think that as long as he circles to the left side here of this command center, he can definitely pick the space off. And he is mostly out of siege tank range. A few of these units are bleeding into the siege tank, which has 5 kills. And he stims back. This base does not go down. Wow. The BC's colliding over the Marines, taking out a few of them. Yamato's on the medevacs? You better believe it. And the natural of I Beat Alpha Star survives. It's weird to call it the natural, but it is his second base. There are 3 bases at the moment for Saber, so that huge worker deficit is starting to turn into a solid worker lead, as you would imagine when you have this many bases. But to be fair, also both players have stopped making SCVs for the most part, and as I say that, Saber starts resuming SCVs. Barracks goes down, so no more factories for I Beat Alpha Star, but I think he's got all of his chips into the BC basket at the moment. He's trying to make as many of them as possible. He's even getting +1 armor for them. And Saber's money is starting to climb up a little bit. Could definitely afford another starport if he really wanted to shut down the BCs. If the only thing that's a danger to you is one particular tech path, like if the BCs are the only thing that's a danger to you, I feel like going really, really ham on your anti-BC countermeasures isn't an overcommitment, especially at this level. You obviously, at the highest level, want to cut as many corners as possible and be as efficient as possible. But at this level, I think it's completely fine to throw down a few more starports and just mass Vikings. Each Yamato is a dead Viking and they tactical jump away, but one of the BCs did go down, so that's always nice to get a pick off, even at the cost of a couple Vikings there. IB Alpha Stars managed to sneak a base into the bottom left. I mean, at least for now. It's not done just yet, but we'll check on it. +1 attack on the way, so it is +1 armor first for the BCs and then +1 attack. Now, as someone that's a Terran player myself, I can attest to the fact that if you get enough BCs and enough upgrades, there is actually nothing that stops them. But you have to get there. Will he get there is the big question. He intends to get there. Third command center from IB Alpha Star going down to this location here. As Saber is extremely passive with this bio army, not loading up in a medevacs, not going for drop play or anything like that, just amassing Vikings, rallying them over to this base here where the BCs have really started to make a lot of problems. He's still getting bio upgrades as well, is Saber. BCs attacking to the north side, and also 3 BCs on the south side. Some multitasking from IB Alpha Star. There's a lot of Vikings up here, though. Oop. Double Yamadas going down on those Vikings, and the bottom right base looks like it's not going to be able to get held here. The bio is stimming in to intercept. Bio's got 1-1 upgrades. Oh, one of these BCs getting quite low. Tactical jumps back. Just saves it. Damn. This BC is on 5 hit points. As long as it doesn't die, it's all good. SCV's pulled off for that repair, and IB Alpha Star continues to mine from 3 bases. Getting that worker lead again. The worker lead's really been flip-flopping between 2 players. Saber had it for a bit, and he's lost it again. Going for an attack here and bringing the Vikings along. The Vikings now have +1 attack. At least I think he was researching +1 attack. Did he stop it? I'm pretty sure I was seeing +1 attack. That might have actually been IB Alpha Stars +1. So the Vikings are upgradeless then. Yeah. Just the bio with upgrades here. Wild game. Absolutely wild. Bananas. Bio coming in for the left side. Not that many tanks in the natural anymore. They're all here on the main base. And here we go. The bio is stimming on in. Meanwhile, in the top right, the BC is going to finally get rid of that command center. But the bio is also going to finally get rid of that command center. And the game is progressing just as it began, with both players trading a lot of damage. BC's tactical jump back to try and handle this fireball, which is cycling down the south to pick off that third base. The battle cruisers are committing now. Oh, they've tactical jumped already, so they can't escape these Vikings. One of them goes down. And killing a battle cruiser is honestly, I would say, even better than killing a command center at this point. It's definitely a lot more resources. And IB Alpha Star does have a bit of cash in the bank, but not a ton of cash in the bank. So losing BCs is always going to sting. Two upgrades on the way here for the mech units, or for the flying mech units. +3 attack and +2 armor on the way for the bio units to Saber. You know, again, as I mentioned earlier in the cast, if you get enough BCs up and they have their upgrades, I don't care if your Marines have got 3-3. I don't care if you have an army of 200 supply of John Rambos with their red headbands and their giant M16s. They are not going to beat the fleet of upgraded BCs. They tickle these things. BC's back in the main base of Saber. I think they all have tactical jump. Yes, they do. Some of them have Yamato, some of them don't. Now they all seem to have... Nope, okay. One or two of them still don't have Yamato. Saber's army taking a while to get up here. It's a big stim there from Saber. His stim is actually about to expire. And there's that tactical jump. So I think that was a nice move there. Anytime you can do this, it's very abusive, but anytime you can do this, absolutely worth it. You got to make those BCs pay for themselves. They are such an investment, as I've mentioned many, many times. Bottom left base of iBeats Alpha Star, by the way, we're checking in on it. It looks completely fine. Unscouted, undetected, and unbeknownst to Saber. It's an easy pick off for Saber if he sees it. Part of the reason why, you know, corner bases or YOLO bases out in the middle of nowhere are considered not great is that it relies on your opponent to make a mistake. You are relying on your opponent to not think about it and make a mistake. So it's not always going to consistently work out for you. But it is one of these weird games where I think it's justified. BC's going through the middle of the map, as is the bio ball with the Vikings. This third base, he's trying to turn it into a planetary, but if Saber commits onto this planetary, it's not happening. That base is dead. Oh my god, that thing got deleted. +3 attack bio. The DPS really insane here. The BCs have got 2-2. They're on their way to +3 armor. It's also got building armor on the way here. That would have helped out that planetary, but unfortunately, this planetary is not there anymore. I think the third base of Saber is also about to die. That's a lot of BCs. And his army is taking his time to get around to get into the natural of IB Alpha Star. BC's finding more critical damage. An upgrade being denied there. Looked like +3 armor on the bio got denied. The tanks are down on the low ground to assist against the bio ball, but they don't get that many shots off. The bio actually cleaves through those tanks, and that was all the siege tanks that IB Alpha Star had. This game's going to, I mean, it looks like a bit of a base trade at the moment. If Saber commits, I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Where's he going? What's he doing? Time is of the essence here. Oh, the A move is actually keeping his bio stuck behind that conga line there of Marines. But there we go. Stutter steps a little bit. Everything's in the main now, firing. Nice tactical jump there from IB Alpha Star to save that BC that's fresh out the starport. The other one doesn't look like it's going to see the light of day. It's in range of this bio here. I think this is advantage IB Alpha Star at the moment, just because the infrastructure of Saber is not super high hit point and kind of in a line, whereas IB Alpha Star has extra bases over here that Saber has not seen yet. He does have the more mobile army though. Denies +3 armor, I believe. That was very close, but I think he denied it. Yeah, he did. So this planetary and this turret are not long for this world. We can see the Vikings of Saber have found one of the bases, killed the SCV on that command center as well. And they are so close. Oh, they actually see this one here in the bottom left as well, so he knows about it. Saber has managed to sneak himself a command center on the far left, but it's full base trade time, guys. You absolutely land on this with your army. Your Saber is waiting for his ground army to come along with the Vikings, I believe, just to make sure that he has a fighting chance against the battle cruisers. So it looks like Alpha Star is gonna, or IB Alpha Star is gonna try and make a stand right here. Saber leaving one Marine over there to attack that refinery. Even stimmed it to make sure that refinery dies fast. Gotta go fast, guys. Okay. Here we go. Potentially the last engagement in the game. In come the Marines. There's no planetary to assist here. One BC picked off. Looks like there's about 6 remaining. Yamana's trying to come out, but one of the Yamanas gets denied thanks to the BC dying, and he tactical jumps away, leaving the space to its fate. Desperately trying to make another battlecruiser here is IB Alpha Star, but Saber is going to cut through some of his production and also the fusion core, so the tech and the production is about to disappear. Battlecruiser's back on cleanup duties. Keep in mind that there's this command center over here now. And Saber's starting to make a believer out of me. One command center over here completed, the other one not completed. I beat Alpha Star going to the top now, and he has to get through a bunch of turrets with these BCs, which also sucks. Some of these BCs are pretty heavily damaged. Hopefully he pulls the hurt ones back. The healthier BCs are the ones taking the shots here, so that's nice. Kill the depots, mate. This is a base race. Every structure matters. Ruh-roh. The only thing that Saber needs to do is kill this command center, which is floating to the top right. Are you kidding me? Is it going to end on the island? Is the island where we make our stand? It's on its way. Oh, man. I have not seen a command center fly through inhibitor zones before. That is painful. Oh, my. Saber beginning the long journey of unsupply blocking himself. 15 out of 61 out of 15 here, so just a handful of depots need to be made. It's quite the block. It's also 2 turrets randomly in the bottom right of this map. Might come into play later. So unbeknownst to Saber, there is another command center on the map flying to the top right. I mean, he knows there's a command center somewhere, but he doesn't know where. And leaving this base is almost suicide. So you can't really make the call to commit. Even loading up 1 medevac leads him with maybe not enough firepower to beat these battlecruisers. I beat Alpha Star knows about this base, scouted it with an SCV, brought it up to the north side, and then whoop, died to the army up here. I beat Alpha Star might try and mass Yamato this command center down. Does he go for it? Here come the Yamatos. He goes to Yamatos on the Vikings and pulls back. 1 BC gets picked off, so he's down to 4. Didn't actually get a ton done there. Now, the Yamatos are all well and good. They will one-shot any unit that they target for the most part, but they do make them stationary. The Vikings going for that low hit point. Oh, the low hit point battlecruiser survives. The last 2 Vikings got Yamato'd. There is no air army apart from medevacs anymore for Saber. He wants that hurt one. That's in the middle of the pack there. I beat Alpha Star still trying to make magic happen with these 4 BCs. And both players are so incredibly supply blocked. There's nothing like, you know, they can't make SCVs. Saber can't drop mules. Doesn't have enough for an orbital. So getting along to making production is just a bit of a pipe dream right now. Even when this depot finishes for Saber, he still will be too supply blocked to be able to produce anything. He doesn't even have any production facilities. Every Marine, every single unit pick off here is a big deal. Saber picks up and leaves the command center. All right, he's getting out of this location to somewhere else. Maybe going to the gold base in the bottom left to get as much mining as possible from as little SCVs as possible. Oh, I think that might be a dead medevac. Oh, yeah. Gets the higher hit point one, too. Another depot about to go down, but the BC is very exposed here. Bio getting under it. Down to 2 BCs total. But also a very low Marine count now for Saber. SCVs loaded up into the command center to save themselves. Command center getting quite low. The Bio moving to intercept. 1 BC again getting quite low. Tactical jump is available. Does he use it here to save it? I think you have to. You can't lose anything right now. That's another Yamato. Is that the medevac? Yes, it is. Goodbye 1 medevac and goodbye Marauders. He's down to 1 medevac and 4 Marines. That's not going to beat this army. 4 Marines does not beat this army. He might kill one of these BCs, but he will not kill the other one. I beat Alpha Star is going to get this bottom left base, and all that remains are these 2 turrets. That's all that remains here for Saber. He could potentially make a depot, but I think that SCV might be boxed in by these turrets, so he can't build anything. His top left medevac unloading these Marines here. Okay, this SCV could make a depot or something, but he's kind of delaying the inevitable. Battlecruisers got to the top right, and oh no, IB Alpha Star has enough resources to top up the BCs as well. It looks like the writing's on the wall in this game. Dang, that's a crazy one. Couldn't agree more, IB Alpha Star. This has been a wild ride. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. I certainly have. Well, medevac's going to the top right, and I gotta tell you guys, when this medevac, I'm shaking my magic 8-ball right now to see the fortune or the potential future here of this medevac with its 5 Marines, and the 8-ball keeps saying outlook grim. I'm frankly not expecting it to do too much. The VCs are leaving. They have used tactical jump, and they are in an inhibitor zone, so it'll take them a little bit to get back there. So the Marines at least will kill some SCVs. But do any of these have a Yamato? Yes, they do. And if they're in Yamato range of this medevac, that's lights out for Saber. Good night, sweet prince. We hardly knew ye. And still kind of don't. Ah, no GG. Well played, I beat Alpha Star in one of the craziest TVTs I've seen. Some Diamond League action. Hopefully you guys liked it. Be sure to subscribe. See you next time.